Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of SportsPoint, brought to you by Pointer Studios. I am your host, Jacob Spoerl, and joined here to my right, we got the return, Brett McNamara, and Tylenol the Purple. I mean Liam Statz.
Wow, that's a throwback.
That is a throwback.
That is a throwback. Holy
script. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Please let the Brewers win.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a sad story. But on a good note, it's a good day, gentlemen. We were doing the SportsPoint Mock Draft 1.0 for the year 2025. I hope you guys did your research like I asked you guys to last week.
Again, I left it at home, unfortunately.
But you at least have some recollection.
Oh, yeah, I've got
Okay.
the stuff.
Brett?
Some stuff.
Brett, are you?
I was born ready. Jacob.
Oh, okay. We got some confidence. That's what I like to see. But we got a couple of things before that. So we'll start it off with our crowning champion segment. My crowning champion, Paige Buckets. Also, Sarah Strong, both on the women's UConn basketball team. Paige Beckers dominated offensively in UConn's upset victory over USC, where she scored 31 points, so she had herself a game. However, I believe Sarah Strong was the unsung hero of that game, having 17 rebounds and also scored 22 points. Now, it is an upset victory, even though they were the 2 seed, but USC was the 1 seed, so it is an upset victory either way, or nonetheless. Good on both of them, so congrats. Those are my champions.
It's crazy you can put UConn and underdog or upset.
I know,
or anything
I know.
That. You know, it's crazy.
A lot of people I feel like projected them.
All they got going for them right now is the women's team.
Oh, yes.
Hey, that's not true. Their hockey team made it the first NCAA tournament in hockey and men's hockey in their program. That was pretty cool.
Oh,
There you go.
ever?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Brett, you're up next. I just read it. Who's your crowning champion this week?
My crowning champion is Aaron Judge. He's starting the season batting .545 with 11 RBIs, including 4 home runs, 3 of them coming in a 20-9 win against the Brewers. Judge looks to be starting his 2025 season still hot, coming off of his 2024 MVP season, where he had 58 home runs and batted .322. Currently, Judge is projected to hit 216 home runs. Now, that won't happen, but
If he continues at the pace.
I
Yes,
mean, yeah,
yes.
that's not going to happen.
Yeah, he did that without the torpedo bat, by the way. That was.
we'll get into the torpedo bat.
Yeah,
Like-
I saw a lot of that. I saw a lot of the oh my gosh, Brewers. I heard someone driving outside. Sorry. The Brewers have lost a lot because of those torpedo bats, but then the Royals game happened. It's just it's clearly a pitching issue. But anyway, that was
Cortez.
That wasn't sent. It honestly for a minute felt like a home run derby. Like I remember hearing my phone go for different scoring notifications. It was the same game.
Well,
It was,
you probably only get it from one
we
app.
have,
I have like 4 apps.
oh,
we
I
have,
get
like,
it from ESPN and CBS.
We have been scored on in every single inning, and for the last 3 games, we've been outscored by double digits.
Liam, you also got some more.
Yeah,
baseball.
Vinny
Who is your-
Capra.
Yeah,
Hit
okay.
his first MLB home run for the Brewers on opening day. I think that was the only highlight of that opening day.
Chance.
Bryce Turner. Oh, that was the next day.
Nope, that was the next day.
That was the only highlight.
Good job, Vinny Capra. This is the worst vibes from this player base and the fans that I've seen since 2016. I mean, this is bad.
All
do
right,
it.
well,
Probably.
next up we
I
got
hope
the
so.
3-point try campus roundup brought to you by Point Brewery. And, of course, flavor of the month returning another week. Dark cherry cream. I'm going to hand these out. Yes. No, these are really good. These, like I said, might be a new favorite. Even Liam was pretty hot.
Listen, it's good, but, grape is always going to be the.
I got you. Made with 100% real sugar.
Dude.
You just chug it?
You just.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that was great.
I'm not even
That was
there. I
great.
haven't even opened
I
mine
needed
yet.
that.
Point Premium Black Cherry is handcrafted in small batches with the purest water, all-natural vanilla, and savory black cherry sweetness. Give me your thoughts while I drink, so there's no dead silence.
It's amazing. This is great. I love this drink. That's why
This is amazing. This is
I
great.
opened this. I opened this in 2 seconds, and I was ready. I'm ready.
Kind of like an animal.
It is really good. It is really good. I'll drink more in a second, but I'll start us off first. I'm going to go quick today because I don't even know if I mentioned it at the time. I think I did.
Draft.
We got an NFL mock. Yeah, I did. We have an NFL mock draft to get to, but we'll get to that soon.
Plus, they can just see it in the title. It'll say,
Yeah, they can see in the thumbnail
In the
as well.
thumbnail,
We got
the title.
You guys know.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Is it the thumbnail of Liam choking me?
Very funny.
Did you think that was,
That was
funny?
awesome.
Okay,
That was
good.
awesome.
Okay,
Very
good.
funny.
Okay.
As soon as I saw you posted the video, I started dying laughing.
Usually it takes me a while to find a picture. I gotta like scrub through. Sometimes it takes 5 to 10 minutes. I kid you not. I skipped ahead like the first time, and it took me 30 seconds. And I was like, oh, that's it. That's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail. So I'll start it off with UWSP men's volleyball team. The Pointers capped off their season with a 3-0 victory over Rockford University in Illinois. They finished off 19-8, which I was kind of surprised about. In a good way, and I would say overall very impressive for their second season or second year ever, as a team. You can go next. That's all I have to say.
So you guys remember last week we were talking about baseball, talking about River Falls. I said that I felt like this is a trap series. I felt like
Really?
River Falls was going to come after us.
Really quick before you say this, I just want to apologize to UW River Falls. I feel like
I wasn't familiar with your game.
I was not familiar with said game. I was I kind of said some things, not bad.
No, just you thought.
I doubted, perchance.
A very fair
yeah,
viewpoint.
what happened?
So I said, and again, another correct take from Liam. Just putting it out there. I'm on a roll recently.
He's on a roll. That's
He's,
rare.
Solar
Solar eclipse
doesn't happen
time.
a lot.
It doesn't happen a lot.
Doesn't
so
happen
we gotta,
a lot.
We gotta hype it up, all right? I said last week, River Falls was a team not to be messed with and that they were going to be competitive. I really thought the Pointers would take the series. Well, they didn't. So we won the first one 12-8. Good. That was very, very cool to watch. First time facing them since 2002, so that was really cool to see.
Whoa.
Yeah, we haven't faced them. And
Before I was born, that was like when you were like 20 years old. Man.
I
That's
wasn't.
crazy.
Oh, yeah? I'm just kidding. I'm actually 50
That's the last time
years
the Packers
old,
drafted
you
a
know?
wide receiver in the first round.
That is true.
Do you remember that? Like
No.
Do you remember
But you know what
that?
I remember? Packers Super Bowl. Anyways.
which
Yeah,
one? The
that's
19.
true. I mean,
From 19. Anyways.
Bart Starr.
So we
Bart
lost.
Starr.
We lost to River Falls 3 times.
Yeah.
Actually, we're on a losing streak against that team now, which brings our all-time record at 9-5. So cool.
we still have the upper hand.
Sure. So I said, this is a club team, but they had the recruits that they needed, and they're competitive, man. I mean, they really took it to us. So my hope is that we're just bad, and it's not that River Falls
That's your
is
hope?
good. My hope is that we're bad so that we can get everything out of the way now and get really hot near the end of the season and start being competitive again. But, yeah, I mean, congratulations, River Falls. You guys took it to the Pointers. That's a team that's been to the many, many College World Series. So
yeah,
established
absolutely.
team. Congratulations. And what a return to form the first time back since 2002.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it might have been a trap series, like you said. They might have overlooked them, but at the end of the day, they just got to rebound and respond and forget that happened, at least for the Pointers. And congrats to River Falls. I mean, that's a good program that they beat up on. All right, Brett, who do you got to talk about?
I got the UW Stevens Point swim team. 7 members of the UW Stevens Point swim and dive team earned academic all-district honors, including seniors Maya Basil, Kyler Ernst, Madeline Krzyzgowski, Beckett McCraw, and Jack Weber. And then along with that, there is also junior Anna Shiglowski and sophomore Will Nickel. And, yeah, so they all received all-district honors, so
Dang.
congrats to them.
Awesome. So there we go. We got a mix of positive and or not like negative, but we got some good mixed reporting here. Thank you guys all for that, and thank you to Point Brewery. Again, I'm really liking this flavor. But really quickly before we get into the mock draft, we're gonna start quickly with probably the smallest NFL update we've had on the show. It's only a quick bit of NFL news or league news before the draft. The day we're recording this, funny enough, April 1st, or at least I should say Monday, March 31st, the annual league meeting was held, and there was new rule changes.
I really hate that it was on April 1st, too, by the way.
Well, no, the meeting was the day before, but all the
Yeah.
rule changes that got released were on April 1st.
you can't tell if they're real or
Yeah,
not.
well, when ESPN posts it, it's like
Yeah.
you gotta look.
They
You gotta
get
do.
them,
You gotta do
like,
some
the
fact
outlets out of
checking
the way,
for sure.
really.
But really quick, the two biggest ones I want to point out. What happened?
I was talking about how I thought Aaron Rodgers retired because I was saying it was 11 p.m. here. And like these fan pages I was following, they're like
They started posting
made
all
a
their April
fake
Fool's
statement
stuff.
and
Yeah.
everything.
Well, this is not sports related, but they announced the next Tom Holland Spider-Man movie for the MCU, and it came out at around 11 p.m. our time, which
They
many
also
parts of the country
announced
that's
the next,
midnight. So that leads.
Spider-Verse movie too.
Shrek 5. Hey. Minecraft movie coming soon.
The Minecraft
Chicken
movie.
jockey.
Hey, hold on. The Minecraft movie meal came out today, by the way. So,
Grimace
like,
in Minecraft movie
in
confirmed.
Minecraft movie meal. Yep, and confirmed, dude.
You knew what I said.
No, not even a little
I
bit. I like flew over my head. Also, don't ever say chicken jockey again.
Chicken jockey.
Stop it.
Listen, steal.
The Nether. Anyway, enough of the Minecraft movie brain rot. Really quick, the two big new rule changes I want to talk about really quickly. One, the touchback now starts at the 35-yard line. And from the more I've heard from NFL, or not just execs, but NFL people talk about this, I'm not sold at all, but I know what they're trying to do is they're trying to motivate the kickers to kick it shorter so more returns can happen and motivate more teams to return it for touchdowns. The problem with that is just move the kicker back 5 yards instead of making the touchback up another 10
Because,
yards.
I mean, you're at 35 yards, right? You get 40 yards, like a drive peters out at, like, you only get like 30, 40 yards,
Yeah.
and then it peters out. You're in field goal range. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know. The other thing is, like, we talked about this, like, literally talked about this today. Kind of seems like they're just becoming the Canadian Football League, where it's an incredible amount of, like, pressure and emphasis on offense rather than the defense.
Brett,
So-
as a former Canadian, what is your take?
As a former Canadian.
As a former resident of Canada and seen many CFL games in my life, so it's called a rouge. And if you kick it out of the
Baton
back of
Rouge?
the end zone, you get 1 point. And a team is actually won on that.
We
you
talked
score a
about this.
touchdown.
Yeah, we have
We-
talked
we
about
You
it.
score a touchdown, you tie the game. You could win it literally with 0 seconds left.
Yeah.
And just kick it out of the end.
Yeah, you can also, like, kick it, like, you can get the ball and drop kick it forward.
Yeah,
and
like
get a
rugby.
First down.
Yep.
No, you can kick it back and forth
Yep.
too. You can punt it.
That's too much. I think
Canadian
we can leave it.
football, very weird.
Hey, Johnny Manziel played it.
Yeah, and it actually is older than American football.
And
This is true.
You know Alex Singleton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an inside linebacker
Yep.
for the team I
Yep.
was from. So yeah.
The team you were from?
Yeah, I was born at Calgary Stampeder.
Oh, I thought you were saying like you played.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, at the same school. Or
I know, I
something.
played right next to Alex
That's
Singleton.
not
Yeah,
what
it's
I
me
was. All
and him.
right. The other new big change is they're updating the regular season overtime rules to make them like the playoff overtime rules. So
Good.
both teams
Yes.
get an opportunity to
Yes.
score.
Thank you.
And they also limit it to a 10-minute period. So if neither team scores within the 10 minutes of overtime, game's over and it's a tie.
I'll take it.
I like
Oh,
this a
college
lot better
football rules.
because I just don't get why you'd have the playoff rules change, the overtime rules change in the postseason. Like I get it,
yeah,
there's finality and one team's got to move on, but at the same time, like
I mean,
which,
if anything, it kind of made more sense to just flip them. You know, like
yeah,
yeah.
That
I
took way too long, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it took
and
way too long for that to happen.
the only
Well,
quick-
you know what else took way too long for it to happen? They finally updated the chain gang. And made
yeah,
it so
I
it's
guess
actually
we'll
gonna
mention
be
that they're using
definitive.
Sony's Hawkeye software, so they're using digital.
It's the same software that they use for soccer.
Yep. They're using digital software to just ensure that the ball placement
still be
from
there.
where it's marked
I know those to be there.
is as
but it won't
perfect
be
as it can be.
important. It's like taking away the umpire in baseball.
Yeah, because the umpire in baseball is definitely on the people's good sides right now.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, well, sorry. It's like a part of like.
It is,
The
it
game.
is.
I
All
mean,
right.
I'm saying.
So that is all. Now it is time for the NFL mock draft 1.0 for SportsPoint. So, all right, so we're in. We're going to start off the mock draft. Liam, you're going to pick first. Brett, you're going to go second. I'll go third. Then I'll loop back, and we're going to do all 32 picks. We're going to do no trades. Not this time. Once we do another mock draft, we'll see how that goes. But I think this is just going to be
This is just
pure.
yeah, who's got what?
Pure
at
who's
this
got
point.
what.
Mhm.
It's the start of April, so we got a couple weeks before the
Nice,
NFL
that's
draft
right.
in Green Bay. All right, so
Gonna
we're
be
gonna,
some big takes from this
Big
guy right here.
takes?
Big takes.
well, you got a big swing to make. You have the number 1 overall pick for the Tennessee Titans, and you are officially
No.
on the clock.
All right, so first, I am really high on Abdul Carter, only because I'm such a fan of him. However, we're looking at what the Titans need.
Yes.
And the Titans really need a quarterback.
This is true.
So I'm also not that high on Shadur Sanders as of right now. I just need to see a little bit more out of him. Like, I think when was their pro day? Did they have their pro day already? I think they did, right?
I'm not sure if Colorado did
a pro
already.
day.
But
I think he might have like a
him
like
or
a
Cam
solo.
Ward.
Yeah.
Him or Cam Ward. They both went to the combine, but they didn't compete.
Yeah.
They didn't.
So it's kind of a toss up between them. No matter who gets drafted first or second, both of them are going to some terrible situations.
Most likely, yes.
I think I have Cam Ward going first. However, in my heart, I'd love to see Abdul Carter go first. But for what I do truly think is going to go and be taken, I do think it's Cam Ward.
All right. I like the selection.
I agree with that. That's who my number one pick was as well.
All right, so we all agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty
But
obvious.
Like I said, I wanted Abdul Carter so bad.
Yeah, I get it.
First overall.
Abdul Carter is a freak athlete, and he's
Freak.
with no doubt, in my opinion, probably the number one overall a prospect in this year's draft. However, the Tennessee Titans have a big need to address with quarterback, and Cam Ward is the best in this class, in my opinion. So that's a good pick. Brett, you're on the board. The Cleveland Browns have the number 2 overall pick. This could be a shakeup because I've seen a lot of takes on this one. So who do you think, Brett, for this one?
So, yeah, it could be quarterback, but I'm really, still stuck with Deshaun Watson being their quarterback because he took that big pay cut this year. So it's going to be
really quick.
Abdul Carter at the 2.
Whoa!
I'm on board with this now. After you explained that, I am on board with that pick.
All right, that is your pick. I can't say whether I agree or disagree, but I'm also not an NFL GM. Neither are any of us. This is just for fun.
Oh, what do you mean? I'm the Giants, dude. They're looking for a job. They're looking
So,
for one.
yes, I have the number 3 overall pick as the New York Giants. Now, there's a lot of solid players we got left on the board. Obviously, Travis Hunter coming off a Heisman year. T. McMillan, I don't think is probably going top 10. There's a lot of really good talent here. Mason Graham, Ashton Jeanty, Will Campbell, all different positions that could fulfill separate needs. However, looking at the New York Giants, in my opinion, with the moves that they've made, they've signed Jameis Winston, who is at best a solid NFL backup, to a 2-year deal, and they just signed Russell Wilson as of last week to a 1-year deal. I think with their big whiff a couple years ago with, was that Evan Neal? The one tackle who was terrible. They still need a lot of offensive line help. And while I've seen him fall a lot because of his short arm length that was measured at the combine, I believe Will Campbell, since the college football season, was the best offensive lineman in this class by far. And I believe all this talk has happened because teams want to draft him. So while it's not a sexy pick and while there's guys that could really help right here, like Travis Hunter, honestly, all these players could really help. They're not going to get a wide receiver, but I truly believe if they want to start building in the right direction, and I believe they're going to go for a really somewhat controversial pick, but I think it's arguably the right choice, it's Will Campbell out of LSU, offensive tackle. That is my pick. Liam, you're back on the board. New England Patriots, number 4 overall pick.
Kind of around number 4, that's where you start seeing Travis Hunter start falling to. Now we know how I feel.
Oh my God.
What?
Keep on talking.
He's got his own opinions.
He's got his own opinions?
Who are you gonna pick? Who are you thinking of right now?
Well, I don't know. You know what? Here's what we're doing.
Okay.
Right. People will never remember you for taking the safe pick, so I'd say Ashton Jeanty at number 4.
Whoa! Oh my gosh, the Heisman runner-up, running back at pick number 4 in the year 25. But you know what? Last year was the year of running backs in the NFL, so I like it. That's your official pick.
I love that so much.
Ashton Jeanty to the Patriots. Brett, you're on the clock with the Jaguars, who have a lot of needs as well. Who are you thinking?
Okay, so no more Christian Kirk.
This is true.
They need a corner. A guy could play both ways. This is the obvious pick. If he's there, you got to take him. I think he's a top 3 player in this draft.
Yep.
I think this is easy for me, Travis Hunter.
I agree, even though we'll see how his versatility works in the NFL. But one of the biggest issues right now with the Jaguars is their secondary. They have almost nobody right there.
I couldn't tell you who they're saving.
Their front 7 is pretty decent, so I don't see them necessarily getting a guy like Mason Graham. So now I'm back on the clock with the number 6 overall pick, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Honestly, that's where Jeanty was projected.
I honestly believe they're going to pull the trigger on Jeanty because while they do have a lot of needs, they've also done a lot in free agency to somewhat address. Here's the thing with the Raiders. They do really need a running back. They could go for offensive line, but I feel like they're not going to take the swing at Membu just yet. They could get a D tackle in Mason Graham. Yeah, I honestly think I was originally going to say Will Johnson out of Michigan. I think he could be a top 10 pick. But the thing is, at least for right now, with where the board has fallen, Mason Graham is arguably a top 5 prospect in this draft. He's incredible. He was obviously, like Will Johnson, part of that winning team with Harbaugh, not last year, but the season before. Yeah. He's an incredible talent, and I think even though they signed Christian Wilkins to a monster contract, he's been disappointing for the Raiders. So
you think Mason Graham at 6?
I think, honestly, with how the board has fallen, I think it's between him, McMillan, or Will Johnson, but I think Mason Graham, I'd argue he's fallen to 6. He's fallen in their laps. That's who they're selecting. Liam, you're back on the clock. The Jets. Who are you thinking here?
Begins Aaron Glenn's rebuild of the Jets. You know, the Aaron Rodgers experiment did not work in the slightest bit. Nope. You know, then the New York Packers actually, because you let Rodgers be your GM for a couple of months.
Green Bay Jets kind of thing.
You remember Green Bay Jets? Yeah. New York Packers, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Armand Membo was projected to go here, you know. I mean, I don't know if we're going to shake that up a little bit. I think that they do need to start rebuilding their offensive line a lot.
They did the thing where they signed 2 veteran tackles last year. They got Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses. Tyron Smith didn't play that great, and Morgan Moses was kind of okay.
Yeah.
And they need to get younger.
Yes.
They also have a lot of other needs.
Well, with Will Johnson now off the board as well.
No, he's not. I picked Mason Graham.
Will Campbell. That's my bad. With Will Campbell now off the board, I do think that they look kind of a big guy here. Brett, you had an idea though?
Oh, I'm down to 2 guys for these next 2 picks, so I think it goes either way for these ones.
Yeah.
The guys is available.
I think we keep it with how people are saying it might be, and we'll go with Armand Membo.
Yeah, Membu's jumped up a lot. I think the Jets will now go back-to-back years selecting a tackle in the first round, but the Titans did that the year before and the year before that.
With now it being going through pick 7, the only person that I have that's sliding a lot now is Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur has slid a lot.
You'll see.
And the Jets could pull the trigger maybe if they're thinking about that. But Shedeur might fall. So are you sticking with Membu then? Yeah. All right. Membu out of Mizzou.
So
Panthers. What are you picking?
For the Jets and the Panthers, I really had 2 guys that were going to go flip-flop either way. I feel like whoever you pick, the other person goes. And that was between T. McMillan and Will Johnson. Okay, should the Panthers go corner here when they have J.C. Horn already?
They signed J.C. Horn to a monster contract.
You only have Xavier Legette, really. So I think
and Thielen.
And Thielen, but he's old. So I'm going to go T. McMillan here. I think that another great young wide receiver in the number 1 wide receiver in this draft, going with Bryce Young, who really stepped it up in that second half of the season after he came off of the bench. I think that it'd be a nasty duo, and I think he'll have kind of that Brian Thomas year. Brian Thomas really did well for the Jags.
Roa McMillan to the Panthers.
So I see where you're coming from, but also the Panthers had the worst defense in the league.
I was going to say they might go defensively.
That's what I said, and I Will Johnson sitting there too.
He is. They did just sign J.C. Horn to a monster contract. They do have some other needs, but corner is still one of them. It's another team where they have a lot of needs. All right, I'm on the board. Saints. This is the only one in all my mock drafts I haven't been super confident on. I feel like the Saints, they're just always a weird team every year. They have some good positions. They don't. They do need an edge rusher, but they also could really use an off-the-ball linebacker.
Well, I mean, Jalen Walker, he's listed as an edge, and he has experience playing there, but then he's versatile. I mean, I'm not going to say he is the next J.J. Watt, but you remember J.J. Watt had that as well, where it's like he could,
I picked him for the Saints.
Brett, I know that I'm not saying he's gonna. What happened?
Oh no, I was just looking at this April Fool's from the Bucks.
Oh,
the Bucks actually.
The Bucks account posted something. What do they say?
Welcome back, Coach Bud.
Because they're playing the Suns tonight.
Oh, that's.
We're gonna lose by 50.
We lost to the Suns by a couple.
They're up by 10 right now.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. All right, Liam, you're the Chicago Bears, and you're on the clock.
Let's go scroll all the way down. He's supposed to be Mr. Irrelevant this year.
Don't know. Give it an actual pick.
Did you pick Jalen Walker, by the way?
Jalen Walker, yep, he's gone. They could use. I don't think they're getting the corner.
I mean, here's the thing, right? They went out and got an entirely new offensive line. It's kind of just thinking. It's like right now, what is like the most glaring issue that they have, because they went out.
Their franchise existing.
Yeah, their franchise existing, right? But they have their quarterback and quarterbacks. I mean, they're not going to draft another first round.
O-line couldn't hurt.
O-line it couldn't, right? But then that's the question of who is left at this point.
They also could use an edge rusher.
They could use an edge rusher, right? And, I mean, Jalen Walker just went, right? So kind of looking at the thing, I mean, Michael Williams is still there. Shamar Stewart is still there. And then, I mean, Mike Green down there kind of later round of the first round.
So what's your guys' thoughts? Do they need a safety? They have
I feel like
Brisker, and then
like
they have
secondary.
They got
Right.
They got Jaquan
Yeah.
Brisker. They could. I feel like that would be a somewhat
waist
of a
pick.
strange
okay,
pick.
Yep, okay.
Very
I
great.
think
That would be-
Shamar Stewart is really the.
I've seen a lot
At
of
the
mocks, and I would be very happy if they drafted
That's
him.
Shamar Stewart.
This is the
from
Lucas
A&M.
Van Ness of this draft. That is my take.
You think so? Really?
I told you guys it last week, and from the more I've seen of him, the more I'm confident in my take. With Shamar, he just has such a limited amount of production, and I feel like nobody even was talking about this guy as a first-round talent until the combine, where he
Sounds a little bit
he
like,
did incredible. But there's not a lot of evidence
That
run
he can
game-wise
actually, like,
or
produce.
pass game-wise
Yeah.
that he can produce.
I think they go offensive line. I
like
mean,
that pick.
at this point, if Will Campbell's still there, he goes. But I'm gonna stretch and say Calvin Banks.
Calvin Banks Jr. from Texas, a Longhorn. And that is the selection for the Bears, not Genty. All right, let's move it a little bit quicker. We're out of the
Genty,
top.
sorry, Mateo.
We're out of the top 10, so now we can get moving a little bit.
So-
49ers, who you picking?
I was laughing and making reactions before because, like, it would be the funniest thing if the 49ers didn't want to pay their quarterback. And, little birdie saying,
Somebody's still
"Hey,
there.
draft my son.
Some-
Draft my son on
Some-
my team."
somebody's still there too.
Yeah, I'm not going to draft Shador.
I
But
thought you were going
it would
to.
be
I thought
funny.
you were
It
going
would be
to.
pretty funny. But
Where-
I think with realistically how this has gone and who's available, I'm going to go Will Johnson here.
I agree. I was
feel
gonna
like
say he's there.
he's there.
Available.
I think he's still a great corner. The only reason he's dropped is because everybody else needed bigger needs.
Yep.
So I feel like this is a great pick for the 49ers.
gosh, so I
Even
gotta
though Shador
pick.
was, tapping me on the shoulder.
I gotta pick for the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's Matthew Golden. I'm gonna be honest.
Matthew Golden.
I feel like Jerry Jones would be all over that. He's a Texas boy. Get him over to the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like he's all over that.
All right.
Miami Dolphins are on the clock. Liam, who you thinking?
I think they go offensive lineman, but I don't think they go Josh Simmons only because the I know that he's still really good, but I mean it doesn't look good when you don't play most of your senior year. Still translates to draft stock.
Okay.
And Miami, I think they look a little bit
Booker?
lower than that. Yeah, Tyler Booker,
Interior.
interior from
Okay,
Alabama.
I like that. I like that.
All right.
Colts are on the clock.
I like this one a lot
This-
because
this is a layup.
this is a tight end pick.
Yeah.
For me, it's Tyler Warren.
Yep.
This is such an easy pick. They don't have a tight end. They don't have anybody that can get open
No.
consistently.
Mo Alley Cox is a free agent.
Mo Alley Cox, yeah. It's Tyler Warren.
Okay, Falcons are on the board. I believe they have a couple of needs. They could really use someone like Jihad Campbell, and they could take a linebacker. I also don't think the Falcons are going to draft super well, but Jihad Campbell is a really good talent, and I think anywhere he goes within this round of the draft, it's pretty good. All right, number 16, the Cardinals are on the clock. Liam,
So you went with Jahad Campbell?
yes, I did.
All right, Cardinals. They need defense. Mike Green's still there. As much as you want Mike Green to fall
I
that
know.
far,
He's not gonna fall.
no.
This is a round where he goes.
No discredit to Michael Williams. He is also a freak of an athlete, but Mike Green is just nuts. I mean
His pro day is what
is
got him into the argument, but then
literally.
from his junior season to his senior season, he doubled his pressures. I think he tripled his quarterback hits, and he almost quadrupled his sacks.
And he was the sacks leader of the 2024 college campaign. So
Yeah.
I do think Mike Green goes at number 16 to the Arizona Cardinals.
Love that pick. Bengals are on the board. Brett, what are we thinking? We still don't know if Trey Hendrickson is staying with the team, so they could use another pass rusher.
I think
O-line never
that
hurts
a safe
for the Bengals.
pick here for them would be possibly tight end with Colston Loveland.
Ooh, wow.
I really like the spot he's
More
in right
on the
now.
offensive side of the
He
ball.
was in my original mock draft anyways with them.
Wow.
So I think I'm gonna go Colston Loveland here, tight end out of Michigan. I think he's a
That-
great pick here
Wow.
for the Bengals, and I think
What else is
they
new?
need
The
a weapon.
Bengals ignoring their defense.
They need a weapon.
Well, they can't pay anybody.
I think they need I think that realistically, when's the last time they had a good, consistent tight end? Tyler Eifert
Honestly,
is okay.
Gesicki last season wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but do you really is Gesicki really your tight end of the
So
future?
I would have disagreed. I think that Michael Williams would have gone there, but
I feel like they would have either gone O-line or pass rush.
yeah.
So Seahawks are on the board, and guys, if they pick anyone else besides an offensive lineman, if I was a Seahawks fan, I'd end it all. Because it has been a glaring need for multiple seasons now. And with the way last year ended, their biggest issue consistently was offensive line.
Who's available right now?
Who's their other wide receiver besides Jackson and Cooper Kupp?
Oh, you're talking about the GOAT, Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
Oh, I thought you were thinking about Jake
Oh,
Bobo.
Jake Bobo's pretty
Jake
good,
Bobo.
too. No, they're not going wide receiver, especially paying some money
No.
to Cooper
Hey,
Kupp.
Josh Simmons is still there.
Josh Simmons is on the board. I've heard a lot of this is a swing. I feel like they're going to want to go with a safer pick. I've seen a lot of Seahawk mock drafts mocking Gray Zabel. Apparently, he had a meeting with Seattle, and it went really well. And it fits a lot more to their needs because he hasn't just played tackle. He's more versatile than what Josh Simmons has been. And while Josh Simmons is falling, we do have that injury concern in mind. And while it is like a reach in this sense, we see NFL teams take kind of somewhat swings or reaches that we think as fans, but we don't know what's fully going on in the NFL world. I believe they're taking Gray Zabel out of NDSU. That is my
Really, you
pick.
think they pass over Simmons still being there?
Yes, I do. Because they need really a lot of help on the interior, and he's played more guard. JPJ is still on the board.
JPJ, I think Michael Williams goes here. I don't think he'll fall this far, but I
it's a
do
good
think
pick.
he goes at this point.
I think
if
it's a
they
good
still
pick.
need
He has a lot more. He's just a lot more consistently a freak, and also he's played several good seasons at Georgia. That's a
You know what's
solid pick.
crazy? Shador Sanders is still on the board.
Shador is still on the board, but I don't think this next team is.
No.
All right, so you guys swap picks.
Yeah, so
So do you pick again then?
I
Liam?
do pick again.
All right. Liam, who's
so
your?
for
And then they'll just go right back to the normal.
Okay. Okay. Liam, who are you picking?
Denver Broncos.
For the Broncos.
Wow.
Now, tight end was their need.
Yes.
But they went and signed Evan Ingram in free agency. Here's what I've seen a ton of Broncos fan
Well,
mock
it's
draft.
defense.
They need running back pretty bad because right now it's by committee between McMillan and they don't have Javonte Williams. It's between Audric Estime is a rookie they got. He hasn't seen as great as they wanted. Bidet or Baddie.
I
Well,
just don't see it.
You're really high on that Omarion Hampton.
I think Omarion Hampton is going to get.
They
should get
also
picked higher.
need defense. That
I
was
think-
one of that was
I
one
think-
of their
Where
press
defensive?
defensive line. Yeah,
defensive
like
tackle.
D-tackle, defensive
Derek
line.
Harmon from Oregon.
Ooh, had 29. Wow.
Do they? Who do they have at D tackle? Zach Allen's a DN.
Let's check.
That's secondary overall. I don't think
Yeah.
they're drafting secondary.
Yeah,
No,
I think I go
but
safe.
I do think.
Kenneth Grant.
Yeah, I
Marion
think they
Hampton.
go Kenneth Grant, and that's where he's projected to go to
Yeah.
at number 20 to the Broncos. Yeah, just to beef up that line a little bit. So
That's
out of
good.
Michigan.
So 2 Michigan defensive tackles are gone within the top 20 picks. So let's try to speed this up a little bit, except for the Packers. Are you picking the Packers pick?
No, it's me.
Brother.
Yeah, he orchestrated this.
Ah,
and
okay,
what I've
okay.
realized now.
All right.
It is time. So
I would have had the.
I'm just gonna assume that Aaron Rodgers is signing with the Steelers. I think we can all assume this.
That's not math, Brett. If you have the Steelers pick and I have the Chargers
No,
pick.
I was originally supposed to have the Broncos pick.
Yeah, but I thought you wanted the Packers pick. That's what you're just saying.
No, I wanted the Steelers pick.
Oh, okay. So you get the Steelers pick. You're on the clock. What are you thinking?
I think a little development action going
Are you
on.
getting Shador?
I'm taking Shador Sanders.
I'm
taking Shador.
Whoa, he has fallen. He's
I
Oh,
think
wow.
that this is a perfect situation for him. I think you get to go underneath Aaron Rodgers. I know he doesn't like it, but let's be realistic. Aaron's got maybe 1-2 years left, and it's gonna be a 1 year. I think it's gonna be a 1 year contract right here, 1 or 2 years exactly. And I think that this is really the pick that needs to happen here for the Steelers. So I like this. I think that
That's a solid pick. That is, with that logic, I don't even know what to say. That's crazy. But that's how the draft has fallen. I'll go quick with the Chargers. The Chargers have a glaring need. It's wide receiver. However, the top 2 wide receivers in this draft are gone. Here's the thing with Igbuka that I've never been big on. Even though he's played with a lot of really great wide receivers, he's never stood out as a wide receiver 1.
All right. Luther Burden.
But I also am not big on Luther Burden. I just feel like this is the pick the Chargers would make.
What, Luther Burden?
Yeah. So the Packers are on the board. Biggest pick of this draft so far. Not really, but for us it is. You're
there's a
having Brett
lot
pick?
of good guys here.
Because I traded, so it would
All right.
have. I would
Sides
have bet.
right
I
in
would
there.
have had the Chargers
All
pick,
right,
but we
all right.
traded. So
So who are you picking for the Green Bay Packers?
There's a lot of good guys left. There's Shamar Stewart, he's a freak athlete. Yeah, I think the only reason he's been falling is because there's a lot of guys that could possibly better that fit a scheme better. There's also the guy I projected the Packers to draft, and kind of my number one choice is Jahdae Barron. There's Amiga Obuga.
I think there is an
You
obvious
drafted
pick here.
Luther Burden, correct?
Yeah, Luther Burden
Okay,
is off the
yep.
board.
And then I think my last kind of pick that I would pick as a Packers fan would be Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame. I think he's a really consistent corner. I think Notre Dame in the Big Ten, they're really consistent. Did I say Big Ten? Why did I say
You
Big
just
Ten?
said
did
Big
say
Ten.
Big Ten.
They are in the Big Ten in hockey, so he's not entirely wrong. But
I don't know why I said Big Ten. I apologize, but I think that him and Xavier Watts did amazing Notre Dame last year. But with the guys available, I really think it down to two guys: Shamar Stewart and Jahdae Barron.
who do we need help with more right now?
I think we're gonna go Jahdae Barron.
You made the right choice, Brett.
I think
oh
that-
my
And
God.
so for the 23rd consecutive year, 24th consecutive year, the Packers
But-
don't select a wide
Here's
receiver
my
in the first
thing.
round.
I think with who is on the board, Egbuka is not at all.
No, not a first rounder. No.
And not that he's not a first rounder,
Just
but
not-
Jahdae Barron is the second or third best. Some people think he's better than Will Johnson.
Yes.
And keep in mind, Will Johnson went at 11.
So I think Jahdae Barron
I like
right
this
there
pick.
is a great pick.
So am I on the
Now
board
that
then
he's
for the
explained
Vikings?
it, now that he's
you are on
explained
the
it pretty
board for the
good.
Vikings.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the pick that I think.
I like how we've only picked our divisional rivals. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So the Vikings are the purple incarnation of Satan.
Hates
it's
them
not
more
gross
than the
to say.
Bears.
I do. They're my least favorite team of anything. But they're addressing a big need with safety. They lost. They lost. You got the Lions?
Yeah.
Ooh. They lost Cam Bynum in free agency, and they now have a big glaring need at safety. Malachi Starks is the best and most consistent safety in this draft. While his senior season isn't so much different from his freshman season, he also did have a really outstanding freshman campaign. He's a really solid safety and is the best one in this draft class. That's who I say the Vikings are taking. Texans are on the board. I believe this is obvious.
What's up?
Who do the Texans need, Liam?
What'd you say there
I
before
said I
that?
believe
What
this is-
what
I said I
what?
believe this
Yeah,
is
what pick
obvious.
did you just pick?
I just picked Malachi Starks to the Vikings.
Oh, what? Like offensive tackle because they need an offensive
They
line?
need-
Oh, man. Who's the only offensive tackle up that high still?
He's fallen.
Josh Simmons.
Yeah, he's fallen.
Honestly, though, in a lot of mock drafts that I've seen, including this one that I am consulting right now, he's still here.
So, Brett, you're on the board for the LA Rams. Oh, no. Who are you picking?
No more Cooper Kupp.
Are you serious? They got Devontae and Puka. They
Devontae
could.
and Puka, but how old's Devontae?
It don't matter. He's underrated.
You're not
man.
taking Egbuka here, are you?
Are you serious?
Are you actually about to take Egbuka?
The next.
I think that. Do they need an edge?
No.
They need defensive line, though, don't they?
no.
They need defense. Who do they have on their
Their
line?
front four is insane.
Who do they have on their line?
Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, oh my gosh, the guy who had the other guy from Florida State, Jared Verse, and they got Byron Young. Those front four they literally had more sacks than the 85 Bears with one less game in the playoffs. That front line is absolutely what they need the least of right now. They're so strong there. They could use a tight end if there's any really, not really. We're out of the first round tight ends.
The pick is in.
Okay.
When we start winning games around here, then we can make the pick together.
Okay.
Y'all know where that's from?
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Emeka Egbuka?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I
saw it in your eyes.
No, yeah, I think this is a great pick just because I think, Devontae, as much as I wanted him to be a Packer, I think he'll fit really good with Matthew Stafford.
Oh, yeah.
But I also think that Puka Nacua, he's coming off of an injury kind of riddled year.
Yeah.
I think this is a great pick because I just think that it'll really separate. It'll get separation open for Devontae and Puka Nacua, so I think it's a good pick.
Ravens are on the clock. Oh, I'm up. That's right. Ravens are on the clock. I think we're done with the first round wide receivers.
Yeah, there's nobody
The guy out
else
of
up there
Stanford,
that's like really
Jack Beck
sexy
is
for the
honestly
wide receivers.
Jack Beck is a really underrated talent. Jaden Higgins is also underrated. They could reach here and get a guy like Jaden Higgins, who I think, in my opinion, is around the 30 range. And this mock draft in PFF has him around 40.
Shamar Stewart is still on the board.
Shamar Stewart is still on the board, and they could use an edge rusher.
He's got to go.
I think there's someone really solid that's kind of missing. That's also
Nick
kind of
Scrotum.
fun. Nope, Scrotum's not going yet. I think JPJ out of Tennessee had so much solid production out of Tennessee, and they tried going a risky picking up a few years ago
JPJ.
with Oweh.
James Peace
I'm picking
Jr.
James Pierce Jr.
James
Jr.
Pierce
Perfect.
out of
Jr.
Tennessee. All right, the Lions are on the board, Liam.
Lions, I mean, that defense.
They need an edge rusher.
Yeah, Shamar Stewart's right there. No brainer. Shamar Stewart going
Oh,
at
my
28
gosh.
to the Lions.
Shamar
even
Stewart
think about it.
opposed to Aiden Hutchinson.
Didn't even think about it.
Whew. All right. Commanders are up.
I mean, here's the thing, and I'm going to defend it actually a little bit. Aiden Hutchinson, freak.
Yeah.
No two ways about it.
Yeah.
That tragedy, tragic of a leg injury, incredibly hard to come back from and be as productive. I think he's still going to have an insane
still gonna be
career.
really good.
Yeah, insane career. But giving him some help,
We're going to see
hurt.
how good. I really am not high on Shamar Stewart. I feel like it's a lot of talk that's hyped him up, not a lot of his film. Brett, who are the Commanders? Who are the Commies going to pick?
This is an easy pick. I think they're going to go Derek Carmen. Jonathan Allen, no more.
Really?
I think
Yeah.
him and Payne, right?
Deron Payne. Yeah,
Deron
they need to
Payne.
get younger.
I think
on the
that's
defensive
great.
line.
I think that's a great pick.
If we somehow get all this right, barring trades, I will be. So
it'll be
proud.
insane,
I'll buy
right?
us pizza.
Yeah, Derek Carmen. I wanted it.
Shake.
I'm on the board. Yes, my Buffalo Bills.
Yo.
This
How are the
is-
Sabres doing?
This is pretty. What?
How are the Sabres doing?
I said the Bills, not the same. This one's pretty obvious. Donovan Ezeraku, I've seen a lot of people mock him to the Packers. Most importantly, or not importantly, but most specifically because of his connection with our current defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley, who is the former head coach of Boston College. Donovan Ezeraku has gotten a lot of production, especially his senior year. I like him a lot. The only thing is his size and his weight, and he does play a little high. For a lot of the film that I've watched on him. But honestly, he could be a top 25, arguably a top 20 pick in this. Or sorry, not top 20. He could fall like between 20 to 25 or even 25 to 30. But he's going to number 30 right here. I think it's pretty obvious. Donovan Ezeraku from Boston College headed to Buffalo. The Chiefs are on the clock. They have a big need offensive line after losing Joe Tooney.
Hey, you don't need to hold my hand.
I'm not
for
trying
this
to.
stuff. But you are.
It's convenient. The picks that you like, this one and the Texans are they're in my mind. There's only
Offensive
one
tackle.
name.
You know what? Just because you're getting onto my case,
I'm not even getting out of your case.
Nick Emenwuri.
Nicky Manwari, a safety?
No,
Yep.
it's no.
No, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's not terrible because they don't have Justin Reed anymore.
Yeah.
They have a need at safety.
So, Josh Connolly Jr. or Nick Emenwuri.
Nicky Manwari.
You think so?
Yes.
Why?
I think he honestly at times in the prospect listings he has better potential at points than Malachi Starks does. But Malachi Starks has been with a better program, has been more consistent.
Yeah. I think we will go with Nick Emenwuri just because
like
you
that.
you
I
you
talked you into it.
You comfort me. You
Yeah.
comforted me a little
Yeah.
bit.
All right, the Eagles are on the board, and they could get a freak out of with Walter
Emenwuri.
Nolan.
The final pick.
Final pick of the mock draft.
All right, I think it's down to two guys for me: Nick Scorton or Xavier Watts. I think Sidney Scrotum, maybe. How are the Eagles doing in the safety position?
Not
They
great.
lost
They
Sidney
lost
Brown,
CJ.
right?
They lost CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah, they lost
Lost
Sidney
Sidney
Brown,
Brown.
but he wasn't really one of their starting.
Yeah, but he was there.
They got Reed Blankenship still.
They do got Reed Blankenship, but you need another safety. So I'm going to go Xavier Watts from Notre Dame. I still think
like
that
that.
him and Benjamin Morrison could potentially be first-round draft picks.
What?
But yeah, we're going to go Xavier Watts here from Notre Dame as the final pick. Of
I
the
like
draft.
that pick. So
Where is he?
analyzing the draft, hold on, it's telling me to stay in my seat. Oh my gosh, I got an ad. Get off my screen. Okay. The biggest swings that we've gotten: Abdul Carter to the Browns. That was a crazy.
That
pick.
was a crazy pick.
Genty to the Patriots at 4. McMillan to the Panthers. That was kind of high. What were some other crazy picks that we had? Mike Green to the Cardinals. That was a good pick.
Shadur.
Yeah, that's the crazy one. Shadur Sanders, number 21 overall to the Steelers.
Realistically, where else is he going to go?
He could go to the Browns or the Giants.
We'll go with
Janae
that.
Barron to the Packers, a great pick. Malachi Starks, unfortunately, to the enemy. That was also a solid pick. The Lions, I feel like whiffed here by getting Shamar Stewart. Just not some all right picks.
All right. Yeah, that's fine.
That is mock draft 1.0 out of
Well, can we
SportsPoint.
talk about Shadur Sanders falling as far as he did to the Steelers?
We did. All right, really quickly to wrap up the episode, we're going to do a semi-quick MLB update. Brett, what do you got for us?
All right, so what a start to the season it's been so far. I feel like it's been like a really exciting season, and first in a while. We got the torpedo bats, and they might be the savior of position players. I think I think pitching's been really really tough.
A lot of discourse about it, but also like you could use it. The Yankees didn't trademark it or patent it. Or
Exactly.
Braves are getting some.
Now
saw
just
that.
listen to this. The Yankees debuted it, and in the barrel type, like it's legit. Like it's legal limit. It's barrel size is correct.
All they did was just put wood in the spot where you hit the ball.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all they did.
Yeah.
So notably the star second baseman Jazz Chisholm Jr. He started using it, and basically all the other Yankees except for Judge. He's batting .417 with 3 home runs. So then the MLB's like, oh, well, this is kind of smart. Let's see if we'll see if I should do this too. Ellie De La Cruz last night, first time he ever touched the bat, he goes 4 for 5, collecting 7 RBIs on 2 home runs.
Dang.
So,
De La Cruz.
yeah, quick thing for you guys. Can you imagine this bat plus the juice ball era?
Yelly era.
So here's the
Barry
thing,
Bonds with a torpedo
right? Like
bat.
it's the steroid plus juice ball plus the torpedo bat. That ball goes 600 feet.
Yeah, I think that travels
Brown would have
a different
field day.
city.
Ryan Braun would have. Oh man.
But anyways, going to the Brewers news. They start the season 0-4. Personally, I'm not that worried,
I'm
considering we have 7 pitchers on the IL
That's true.
and Blake Perkins as well.
We predicted our
But-
pitching issues as well.
But there's no fear
There it is.
because the Abner, the flamethrower,
He thinks
Uribe is here.
He thinks Uribe's gonna beat out McGill for the
Oh
job.
my gosh, Abner Uribe might be the new Devin Williams. He
It's
might be the new
not
Jeremy
happening.
Jeffress.
No,
This
it's
guy
not.
is
You're
legit.
insane.
I'm telling you,
Listen,
Liam,
I have
he's
bad
legit.
takes from time to time. This is a really bad one.
He's coming off a 4-game suspension from last year
Oh,
for
for what?
fighting Jose Siri. I'm telling you, this guy's bad.
Because how bad of a pitcher he
bad
was?
A. No, what? He fought the guy. he took one for the team and fought him. And
which, shout
he
out
got
Ricky
injured.
Weeks.
So yeah, he got injured last year, and then he came back this year. But Chad Patrick starting tonight. They're playing right now. They just hit a home
Eric
run.
Haas,
Eric
okay.
Haas.
Hey, they
19
scored
feet.
first.
Yep.
For the first
And
time all season.
Now it's not as high as it says right now, but before the Brewer game started, the Brewers had a collective ERA over 12.
In 4 games. That's bad.
Really quick, Bucks are on a 4 games losing streak.
We suck.
They're playing the Suns.
Wisconsin sports are in
April
such a
1st. That's not
bad
true.
shape
Minnesota
right now.
Timberwolves and the Detroit Pistons had a huge brawl. 7 people, 5 players, and 2 coaches were all ejected.
It was pretty funny.
A bunch of suspensions are handed out. March Madness is in the Final 4. All the men's bracket is 1 seeds. Women's bracket is 1 seeds except for the 2 seed UConn Huskies.
Made fun of the hosts on Selection Sunday, when they were doing their bracket predictions, and like 3 of them predicted all 1-seed brackets. So, congratulations, you predicted it.
There you go.
correctly.
It's a
Yeah.
scratch bracket.
Thank you, everybody that came in
Not
and
doing
tuned in
hockey?
today. What?
Can I just say, I only have one
Oh,
thing
yeah.
for hockey.
I honestly didn't even see
The
that.
single thing I have for hockey, oh my gosh, I screwed it up. How? Alex Ovechkin needs 5 goals to take the record.
As of now.
As of
As
right
of
now. As
recording.
of right filming right now.
Yeah, he can do it. I said Ovi was going to do it. He's got time. He'll do it.
He's got a whole other season.
He can do it in this season.
He could do it in this season, and he's going
Why
to
wait?
if he doesn't have another season.
Do you guys have fun? The mock draft
He
today?
also
great
did
time.
that, by the way, coming back from a broken leg.
Yeah, I know. Superpowers.
You know who's on on a broken leg? Carried his team on the back.
Greg Jennings.
Brewers are up 2-0 now.
back.
All right. Thank you, everyone, helping out today. And from all of us here at SportsPoint, we'll see you next time.